What was it like working with Chris as a bassist? What's his approach like to recording bass?
Again, amazing. He's an incredible, probably one of the best bass players I've worked with. It just everything. Chris is so tight, and it's just, and his sound is so good. It's just every take that he does is practically a master take. Do you know what I mean? If anything's redone, it's basically stuff that he wants to sort of maybe hone in on certain bits. But again, tracking with Chris is like 2 or 3 takes, and then he'll listen and go, "I'll drop that bin," or he'll remember what he did in take 1 and just drop that into the second verse. Or do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying with them. They don't just sit there and go, "Well, I don't know what do you want." They know what they're doing. They're very very proactive at what they're doing. They know their way around. He's a multi-instrumentalist, Chris. He can play drums incredibly well. He can play guitar very well. He's a great singer. He's one of those. But yeah, it's almost like you don't have to listen to him because he's so tight. He's like almost like a sequencer, but a sequencer with feel. Do you know what I mean? It's like Chris has got these 2 vintage, not vintage, they're 80s. I suppose they're vintage now. They're 80s Marshall heads. They're gold. They're not like the classic Marshall. There's like these gold 80s. I can't remember what they are, and that's basically his sound. So he has those 2 through two separate cabs and 2 different distortions going to those, and that's his sound, obviously with how he's playing as well. And then we added stuff to that to sort of bring the frequency so it was like deep as well as clear. And then the same with guitars really. Matt has like the crazy setup of lots of, I think it was one point where we were running 4 amps, but all running from different sources, different pedals and different things making up different stuff. And sometimes there was a delay going into 1 amp, and there's lots of different processes of making the sound. And obviously Matt's guitars as well, there's lots going on in those.
Yeah, that's cool. So
those fellas.
Were there any particular types of guitars that he liked to use, like any particular models, or would he use?
It was all Mansons, all of his Mansons. But back then, he's got some other guitars. We were using it. We had a Strat as well that was a very old Strat. Mainly Manson's. There's Telly, but then as from Second Law, there started to be a few more sort of like baritone, like 7 strings turning up and stuff like that, and got a bit more experimental. But it's mainly Manson's. And they're his guitars that he's had for forever. Like I say, when the 3 of them, it's I don't want to sound too like magical and all that, but it just locked in, and it is, you realise why they are who they are, because there's these 3 guys that just work so well together.
That's so cool.
And it's almost like they don't even have to think about it. They just lock in. I think they must know each other so well by now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, they're one of the rare bands where they haven't had any lineup changes, and that's something obviously that probably indicates how good they are, like not just creatively but personally together too. So I do want to go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. It's like I guess there's no Muse without those 3 guys.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
There.